Johnny Depp is making waves for an entirely different cause than his wild charisma and iconic roles were before. His career, which included roles in films like Pirates of the Caribbean and Edward Scissorhands, catapulted him to Hollywood superstardom. However, he still experienced heartbreak despite his prominence. His private life went downhill after that. What with his ex's stunning legal struggle and a string of failed romances and professional disappointments, everyone assumed Johnny was finished when he returned. In an audible manner, no less. A fresh appearance, an altered energy, and an unmistakable air of self-assurance. Come investigate Johnny Depp's shocking metamorphosis with us and find out what it signifies. A tumultuous upbringing and an aspiration to play guitar. Johnny Depp came into this world in Owensboro, Kentucky on June 9, 1963. He came from a family of 4 children. Betsy Sue, his mother, was a waitress. A civil engineer, John Christopher Depp, was his father. Johnny had an unstable upbringing. Due to their nomadic lifestyle, his family had a hard time settling down. They settled down in Miramar, Florida around 1970. However, things were not easy at all. The parents split up when Johnny was 15 years old. That had a profound effect on him. His mother wed Robert Palmer later in life. Johnny formerly cited Palmer as an influence. You can tell how close he felt to him by it. A guitar was presented to Johnny by his mother when he was 12 years old. Everything changed because of that gift. Music captivated him. Aspired to be a rock star, he quickly began performing in bands. He left Miramar High School at the age of 16 to pursue his passion. The principal of the school had different ideas when he attempted to return only 2 weeks later. He encouraged Johnny to do what made him happy, and Johnny listened. Johnny became a member of the band The Kids in 1980. In Florida, they were somewhat successful. They felt compelled to give Los Angeles a shot because of that. They began their pursuit of a record deal after changing their name to Six Gun Method. Yet, aspirations aren't necessarily a bed of roses. Johnny dabbled in odd jobs like telemarketing to get by. Lori and Allison was a cosmetics artist whom he wed in December 1983. He had a bandmate whose sister she was as well. Regrettably, the union was short-lived. Their divorce was finalized by 1985. At about the same time, he was about to negotiate a deal when his band broke up. Nevertheless, Johnny persisted. In addition to his involvement with the band Mary, he was also a member of Rock City Angels. Both Johnny's music and his upbringing made him stand out even back then. Although he did have some Irish, French, and German ancestry, his primary ancestry was English. Not only that, but he proudly traced his family tree back to Elizabeth Key Grinstead, the first African-American to achieve judicial freedom. Additionally, Johnny asserted at one point that his great-grandmother was of Native American descent. According to him, she may have been either Cherokee or Creek. He replied it made sense because I'm from Kentucky. However, some were not satisfied with that assertion. An American Indian news source claimed that Depp had never lived among Native Americans. His superiors went so far as to label him a pretender, or someone posing as a local. When Johnny took on the role of a Native American in The Lone Ranger, the situation became more intense. The fact that he called his band Tonto's Giant Nuts made many quite angry. Eventually, a Comanche woman named LaDonna Harris took him in as her honorary son. He was never really a member of any tribe because of that, though. Because of it, he became a member of her family. Despite all, Johnny still had a long way to go. Actually, it had only just begun. Hollywood was interested. With his band, Johnny relocated to Los Angeles when he was 20 years old. His life, however, took an unexpected turn once the band disbanded. Nicolas Cage was introduced to him by his ex-wife Lori. Friendship blossomed between them. Cage spotted potential in Johnny and gave him acting advice. Being an actor wasn't Johnny's original goal, although he did enjoy the concept. James Dean had always been an inspiration to him. He went so far as to say that Rebel Without a Cause and Dean's story prompted him to give acting more serious consideration. Thanks to Cage, he was able to get an audition for Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street. Even though Johnny had never performed before, he felt just at home. The daughter of Craven persuaded her father to cast Johnny after seeing him. Instantly, Johnny got his big break as the central character's boyfriend, the one who Freddy Krueger ends up murdering. Depp continued to land roles despite his statement, "I didn't want to be an actor," and these gigs helped pay the bills, something that music couldn't provide. He had a starring role in the 1985 comedy Private Resort. He was later supposed to play the lead role in the film Thrashin', but the producer decided to cast someone else instead. His part was that of a Vietnamese-speaking private in Oliver Stone's Platoon, a much smaller part. However, 1987 was the year of his breakout role. His character in 21 Jump Street was an undercover police officer. Teenage police officers dressed like their high school peers were the stars of a TV show. He became a teen idol because to the show. The ladies adored him. He was adored by magazines. What about Johnny, though? Very little. He wanted to collaborate with actor Frederick Forrest, thus he accepted the part. However, he felt uneasy about the celebrity. He claimed that playing the merchandise was something the show made him do. To rephrase, he didn't feel genuine emotion and instead acted as if he were being sold something. Nonetheless, a monumental undertaking had begun. Johnny was once a shy young man who played guitar for fun before he blossomed into the confident, fashionable man he is now. He wound up in acting after moving to Los Angeles on the back of that guitar and a failed band. Life can be quite mysterious at times. He demonstrated in his early career the unpredictability of stardom. He went from being a phony pin salesman to appearing on magazine covers in an instant. However, Johnny detested being confined. He was always different, whether it was in his appearance, his roles, or his ideas. His claims of native ancestry were always very personal, even when they landed him in difficulties. His family's word was final with him. "I guess I have some Native Americans somewhere down the line," he said in an interview. He wasn't trying to lie. He was just going off family stories. But not everyone saw it that way. And when he played Tonto in The Lone Ranger, things got worse. People thought it was disrespectful. They didn't like the band name either. So when LaDonna Harris adopted him, it was seen as a kind gesture. But it didn't change how Native leaders felt. They made it clear. He wasn't one of them. Yet Johnny kept moving forward. His mix of charm, rebellion, and raw talent made him different. And Hollywood noticed. From horror movies to deep dramas, his face and voice became unforgettable, breaking free from the teen idol image. After 21, Jump Street made Johnny Depp a teen heartthrob. He quickly realized fame wasn't everything. He didn't enjoy being seen as just a pretty face. So in the 1990s, he changed direction. He started choosing films that meant something to him, not just ones that would make money. One of his first choices was Cry Baby in 1990, a musical comedy set in the 1950s. The movie didn't do well in theaters at first, but years later, it gained a cult following. That same year, he starred in Edward Scissorhands, directed by Tim Burton. It was a strange but touching film, where Depp played a man with scissors for hands. To prepare, Depp studied Charlie Chaplin movies to learn how to act without words. Critics loved his performance. One called it a terrific performance. Another said he spoke through bright black eyes and how he gently moved his sharp hands. The role earned him his first Golden Globe nomination. It even inspired scientists to name an extinct creature Codonicola deppi because of its claw-like limbs. Depp's talent shined through his unusual roles. Over the next few years, he starred in Benny and June, Arizona Dream, Dead Man, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, and Don Juan DeMarco. In 1994, he played the odd filmmaker Ed Wood, again with Tim Burton. Each role was different, bold, and risky. But Depp wasn't afraid. He wanted to grow as an actor, not just stay popular. In Donnie Brasco, he played an undercover FBI agent opposite Al Pacino. In Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, he transformed into the wild rider Hunter S. Thompson. And by the time he starred in The Ninth Gate in 1999, Depp had made his mark as someone who always took the road less traveled. He was no longer the guy from a TV show. He was now one of the most interesting actors in Hollywood. That same year, he got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, but he was just getting started. Fame, awards, and unforgettable characters. As the 2000s began, Johnny Depp showed the world he could do almost anything on screen. He played all kinds of roles, romantic, funny, dark, or serious. In 2000, he starred in Chocolate, a sweet drama set in a small French town. Then came Blow in 2001, where he played a drug smuggler. That same year, he appeared in the crime horror film From Hell. In 2003, Depp became a global superstar with one role, Captain Jack Sparrow. Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl was a huge hit. Audiences loved his strange, fun, and unpredictable character. Depp brought something special to the role. It wasn't just acting. It was a full-on transformation. For this, he got his first Oscar nomination. He continued to explore all kinds of characters. He was a kind father in Finding Neverland, a lonely writer in Secret Window, and a sharpshooter in Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Each performance was different, but always memorable. Depp also worked again and again with Tim Burton. They became one of Hollywood's most famous duos. Together, they made Sleepy Hollow, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Corpse Bride, and Sweeney Todd. For Sweeney Todd, Depp won a Golden Globe Award. Then came Alice in Wonderland, another box office success. He gave his voice to animated films too, like Rango in 2011. And in the years that followed, he played real-life people in Public Enemies and Black Massachusetts. In Minamata, 2020, he played a war photographer. He even stepped into the magical world of Fantastic Beasts, playing the dark wizard Gellert Grindelwald. Alongside acting, Depp started his own film company, Infinitum Nihil, in 2004. He also returned to music and formed a rock band, Hollywood Vampires, with Alice Cooper and Joe Perry. He never stayed in one lane. And just when people thought they'd seen it all, he was named People's Sexiest Man Alive. Not once, but twice. But even with all the fame, his personal life had its own story. Love, loss, and life behind the spotlight. Johnny Depp's first marriage came early. He married Lori and Allison on Christmas Eve, 1983. She was 25 and he was only 20. Lori was the sister of his bandmate. The couple moved to Los Angeles for their music careers. Depp found small success with his band, The Kids. They even opened for Iggy Pop and the Ramones. But Lori had to quit her music career after going deaf in one ear. She became a makeup artist. And through her work, she introduced Johnny to Nicolas Cage, changing his life forever. They divorced in 1986 after just 2 years, but they stayed on good terms. During his legal case with Amber Heard, Lori showed support for him publicly and continued to use the Depp name professionally. In the late 1980s, Johnny got engaged to 2 actresses, Jennifer Grey and Sherilyn Fenn. But neither relationship lasted. In 1990, he began dating Edward Scissorhands co-star Winona Ryder. They became one of Hollywood's most talked-about couples. Johnny even tattooed Winona Forever on his arm. When they broke up in 1993, he changed it to Wino Forever. Soon after, he started dating supermodel Kate Moss. Their relationship lasted from 1994 to 1998. It was intense and often in the headlines. In 1998, Johnny met French singer and actress Vanessa Paradis while filming The Ninth Gate. They fell in love and built a quiet life away from Hollywood noise. They had 2 kids, Lily Rose, born in 1999, and Jack, born in 2002. Depp once said, "You cannot plan the kind of deep love that results in children." Fatherhood was not a love story that turned soon after breaking up with Vanessa Paradis. Johnny began dating actress Amber Heard. They had starred together in The Rum Diary. At first, it seemed like another Hollywood love story. But behind closed doors, things weren't going well. They married in a simple civil ceremony on February 3, 2015. But just over a year later, on May 23, 2016, Amber filed for divorce. She also got a temporary restraining order. She said Johnny had been verbally and physically abusive during their relationship, often when he was under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Johnny denied everything. He said Amber was trying to end things quickly and walk away with money. It became a media storm. In August 2016, they reached a private settlement. The divorce became official in January 2017. Amber dropped the restraining order and the couple released a joint statement. They said their relationship had been intensely passionate and at times volatile, but always bound by love. They added that neither party has made false accusations for financial gain. Depp paid her to divorce settlement of $7 million. She promised to donate the entire amount to charity. Some of it was pledged to the ACLU, and some to the Children's Hospital Los Angeles. Even though the marriage was short, the story didn't end there. Years later, it would turn into one of the most public and talked about court battles in Hollywood history. But that too became a turning point in Johnny Depp's life and his image in the public eye. Depp versus Heard. After Johnny Depp and Amber Heard finalized their divorce in 2017, many thought the story was over. But in December 2018, Amber wrote an opinion piece in the Washington Post that changed everything. She didn't name Depp directly, but the message was clear. She called herself a public figure representing domestic abuse. She talked about speaking up against sexual violence and facing public backlash. And she said she had seen how powerful men were protected by institutions. Johnny believed this article damaged his name and career. He said these words were not only false, but harmful. He filed a defamation lawsuit against Heard in February 2019. Depp claimed that the article included 3 lies. First, the headline itself. Second, Amber saying she became a symbol for abuse 2 years earlier. And third, her words about how society protects men accused of abuse. Johnny argued that he was the victim in the relationship. He said Amber's claims were a hoax, and he blamed the article for losing major roles like being removed from Pirates of the Caribbean. He felt like the op-ed destroyed his career and reputation. Amber didn't stay silent. In August 2020, she filed a countersuit. Amber Heard fired back with her own lawsuit. She claimed Johnny, through his lawyer Adam Waldman, had started a campaign to hurt her image. She said he used Twitter and online petitions to get her removed from her movie roles, like Aquaman and her work with L'Oreal. Amber's countersuit focused on 3 statements made by Waldman in 2020 to the Daily Mail. In the first, Waldman said Heard and her friends had made up false sexual violence claims. In the second, he claimed they faked a scene at a penthouse and called 911 as part of a setup. The third was a general statement saying the abuse claims were a hoax. Things got even messier in October 2020. Waldman was removed from the case after he leaked private court details to the media. Then in November, Depp lost another case against the Sun newspaper in the UK. Amber's team asked for his US case to be thrown out too, but the judge didn't allow it because Heard hadn't been part of the UK case. In August 2021, a judge ruled that the ACLU must hand over records about Amber's promised donations. This added more heat to the already intense battle. And finally, in April 2022, the trial began in Virginia. The Depp versus Heard trial took place from April 11th to June 1st, 2022. The courtroom became a stage, and the entire world was watching. Both actors told their story. Amber said Johnny became violent during their relationship. She described moments where he lost control due to drugs and alcohol. She said she lived in fear. Johnny told a different story. He said he was the one who suffered. He shared details about how Amber would insult him, hurt him, and even hit him. The trial lasted weeks, and people followed it like a drama series. Testimonies, videos, and audio clips were shown. Experts gave opinions. Friends, staff, and even security guards spoke about what they had seen. After 13 hours of jury talks, the verdict came on June 1st, 2022. The jury said that all three parts of Heard's op-ed were false and had hurt Johnny's reputation. They also agreed she wrote them with bad intent. Johnny was awarded $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages. However, Virginia law reduced the second amount to $350,000. As for Heard's counterclaims, only one of Waldman's three statements was found to be false and harmful. So she was awarded $2 million in damages from DEP and nothing more. After the verdict, Johnny said, "Jury gave me my life back. I am truly humbled." He thanked the court, the jury, and his legal team. He also said, "I hope that my quest to have the truth be told will have helped others, and that those supporting them never give up." Heard and Depp later agreed to settle. Amber kept saying the deal wasn't a sign of defeat. Depp's team said the jury's decision would remain in place. Amber paid $1 million, which Depp promised to donate to charity. This case wasn't just about two celebrities fighting. It showed the world how deeply private pain can become public. And for Johnny Depp, this courtroom battle became another turning point in a life full of twists. A big comeback after the storm. After years of court cases and headlines, Johnny Depp is finally back on the big screen. His newest film, Day Drinker, is his most important project in a long time. The movie is directed by Mark Webb and also stars Penelope Cruz. This is not the first time the two actors are working together. They've shared the screen before in Blow, Pirates of the Caribbean, On Stranger Tides, and Murder on the Orient Express. According to IMDb, the film tells the story of a mysterious stranger who becomes close to a bartender, grieving the loss of her partner. As their connection grows, their lives take surprising turns. The story is full of emotion, secrets, and unexpected moments. Lionsgate executive Adam Fogelson shared his excitement about the project. He said, "Then Johnny and Penelope." Johnny's return was also felt at the 2023 Cannes Film Festival. He spoke honestly about how the drama with his ex-wife affected his career. "Did I feel boycotted by Hollywood?" he asked. "You'd have to not have a pulse to feel like, no, none of this is happening. It's a weird joke." He said being asked to leave a film over just words felt unfair. Still, he added, "I don't feel boycotted by Hollywood because I don't think about Hollywood." A bold answer and a fresh start. The first look that shocked everyone. You see, Johnny Depp is making headlines again. But this time, it's not because of a court case. It's because of how different he looks. In the first photo released from his new film, Day Drinker, Depp looks almost unrecognizable. At 62, he now has silver hair, a full gray beard, bright blue eyes, and a sharp blue suit. He's seen leaning against a bar with a cocktail in hand, staring into the distance with a calm, thoughtful look. The photo was posted by Lionsgate on social media, and fans couldn't believe their eyes. Some people said they didn't even know it was Johnny until they read the caption. Comments flooded in. One fan wrote, "Johnny Depp absolutely rocking the silver fox look." Another said, "The gray looks amazing on him." People were surprised, excited, and even emotional seeing this new version of Depp. Someone joked, "Is this the story of the Stay Thirsty, My Friends guy?" Others compared him to his old character, Gellert Grindelwald from Fantastic Beasts. One fan posted, "Grindelwald vibes." Another said, "They never should have taken Grindelwald from us." Many are calling this Johnny's Silver Fox era. One comment read, "We are entering the Silver Fox era of Johnny Depp, and I am here for it." The new look, the beard, the suit, it's a total transformation and fans can't get enough. Day Drinker is the name of Johnny's new movie, and it's already being called his biggest Hollywood comeback in years. The The film is directed by Mark Webb and stars Penelope Cruz and Madeline Klein. This is Johnny's first big American movie since the defamation trial with Amber Heard, which ended in 2022. Before this, he acted in Jean Dubarry, a French-language film. But Day Drinker marks his return to English-speaking mainstream cinema in the film. Johnny plays a mysterious character who meets a grieving bartender on a cruise ship. According to the movie's plot, their meeting pulls both of them into the criminal underworld. It's not just a drama, it's an action thriller with a twist, and fans are already excited. Lionsgate's Adam Fogelson said in a statement, "There is no better filmmaker than Mark or two more perfectly cast actors than Johnny and Penelope." That's a big vote of confidence, and the internet agrees. But the transformation wasn't just about acting. Praise the makeup team too. "Shout out to the makeup department for the amazing transformation," someone wrote. Another said he could never play a role without the costume department doing half the work. With blue contacts, silver hair, and a gray beard, Johnny really looks like a brand new man. It's a bold look, and it's working. With all eyes on his striking new appearance, there's another detail fans can't stop talking about: his teeth. Johnny's transformation didn't stop at hair and wardrobe. It went straight to his smile. Johnny Depp's shocking smile makeover. In the early 1990s, Johnny Depp was the ultimate Hollywood heartthrob. With his sharp cheekbones, dark hair, and soulful eyes, he stole hearts everywhere. And while he didn't smile often, when he did, his teeth were white and healthy. He was the full package: talent, charm, and movie star looks. But as the years went on, something changed. Depp's love for hard partying and heavy smoking started to show. Slowly, his smile began to fade. By 1995, he was proudly telling Premiere magazine, "I've got loads of cavities. I had a root canal done 8 years ago that's unfinished. It's like a rotten little stub." He didn't seem to care. In fact, he once said, "I'm proud of these teeth. When I see people with perfect teeth, it drives me up the wall. I'd rather swallow a tick than have that." His teeth continued to decline through the years. His yellowed and ruined smile became apparent to fans in 2010 during an Alice in Wonderland press conference. Its appearance was characterized by some as milky. Undoubtedly, his habitual smoking did not assist. Depp had even joked in an earlier interview about how he would develop an extra mouth just to smoke more. When he was in Pirates of the Caribbean, he wore grills made of gold. Yet he retained them even after the filming had ended. In an interview with David Letterman, he expressed his frustration with the dentist repeatedly insisting on a root canal or some other dreadful procedure every time he visited. These decisions eventually resulted in some of Hollywood's most unsightly teeth. In 2023, Depp's teeth had rotted and turned a completely brown color. Upon the appearance of photographs showing him smiling, social media went into a frenzy. Opinions were offered by dentists online. Opinions among the fans were mixed. Many cheered for Johnny, claiming he looked great and deserved the 7-minute standing ovation he received at Cannes. After drawing comparisons to Amber Heard's picture-perfect smile, some people began to make fun of his looks. However, Depp remained silent. Plus, things started to change so rapidly that maybe he wasn't even needed to. It was in 2024 when Johnny began to make a comeback. His hair was the first target. His teeth were the next shocking item that his admirers observed. Backstage at Lorraine's Cafe on a Bahamian holiday, he flashed a broad grin and pearly whites. The web went into a frenzy. Is Johnny Depp actually here? It was, indeed. Word quickly spread that he had begun a complete makeover, starting with new teeth. According to an insider, this is just the beginning of far better things to come. Additionally, they mentioned that he was focusing on his physique, skin, and general look. The community was abuzz once again, this time for positive reasons, over Johnny's smile, which had been a sign of decline. As the rumor mill was swirling about Johnny's silver hair and gray beard, he pulled another surprise. An Instagram photo that went viral. While touring a Spanish institution, he and Penelope Cruz posed for a selfie. The two took advantage of their time away from Day Drinker filming to visit the world-renowned Museo Reina Sofia. An official museum Instagram account posted the image. Johnny and Penelope, who were laid back and chic, were pictured grinning in front of an artwork. The crowd went absolutely bonkers once more. According to one commenter, he is timeless. According to someone else, it's insane how much younger he looks. Adding a third, it's great to see Johnny in better health and a lot more laid-back demeanor than in recent years. Seeing the two of them together again was a huge hit. A fan went so far as to label it a Blow 2001 reunion, alluding to the movie they were in together back in 2001. Many made light of the situation by comparing it to the reunion of Jack Sparrow and Angelica Teach. Having two such great artists encircled by such a famous work is a privilege, one admirer remarked. This team is fantastic. The feedback continued to roll in. Wow, I am astounded. Muchas gracias por compartir este lindo video de Johnny Depp. The public was overjoyed to see Johnny return to the set, but they were even more elated to see him in such good health and shining brightly for once. Johnny has moved on from thinking about what occurred to him in the past. He is proceeding according to his own dictate, and he's accomplishing precisely that with Daydrinker. His followers have seen a transformation in him. He seems calmer now. His vision is sharper now. As he steps into roles that feel new, he takes selfies and enjoys life. People are referring to this as Johnny's transformation. He exudes an irresistible charm, and not only in terms of his appearance. Johnny Depp is clearly back and loving every second of this new journey, and with Daydrinker's release coming up shortly, it's obvious. Do you approve of Johnny Depp's new style and his triumphant return? How is the Silver Fox period treating you? Would you see Daydrinker if it only featured Johnny Depp's new side? Feel free to provide your opinions in the space provided. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more amazing stories from the fascinating history of Hollywood. Catch you later. Thanks for watching.